They say music is the universal language of the world. Today, we're going to meet someone who happens to be very fluent in that particular language and will give us a sneak peek into the music world.
Hey, I'm Matthew Surapine, and I'm a professional musician. I've been lucky enough to make a career in music, spanning opera, musical theater, jazz, and voice teaching. Right here in Norwalk.
I'm just sitting here waiting to go. Thank you for joining us today for an edition of Person to Person. The guest you're about to meet is an accomplished opera singer who has started off from a life in Wall Street market to becoming a musical aficionado. Now we would like you to meet today's guest, Matthew Surapine.
Thanks, Jared. Good morning.
Morning. So tell us, Matthew, how long have you been singing?
Let's see, I'm 50, so how about if we say about 30 years? Let's say that. Just singing in high school, things like that. And of course, when you're in high school, you sing for one reason, that's to get the girls. And then when I graduated high school, it was early 80s and Wall Street was booming, and I thought, when you get the girls, then you got to keep the girls, so you have to make money. So I went on and started trading stocks on Wall Street, things like that. But there was always something that was sort of missing. Now, I came from a very musical family, and there was something missing. So just when I got married, I told my wife, you know what, I don't want to be a stockbroker anymore, I want to be a musician. So that was a bit of a shock, but I went back and started studying voice, and things just sort of took their time and moved into stuff.
Sounds great. So tell us a bit about your transformation from Wall Street to singing opera.
That's a great question. As I said, when I decided that I didn't want to be a stockbroker anymore, I wanted to be a singer, you start doing what every struggling artist does. You get a job, a 40-hour-a-week job, just to pay the bills. I moved to New York. My wife was in West Hartford. I moved to New York City and got a tiny little apartment. Got a job working for Payne Weber, and I took classes. Monday night was jazz, Tuesday night was tap, Wednesday night was acting, Thursday night was voice, Friday night I would take the train back home to see my wife. Started doing some small shows, things like that, the type of thing where, you know, your stipend is your subway pay. And then first audition was for New York City Opera, and I got on their touring. They used to have a touring company and did Barber Seville. And after that, the work started becoming more steady. So I was able to sort of wean myself off the Payne Weber job and start doing more opera.
Very fascinating. What made you want to become a musician?
As I said, my family was always very musical. My mother was she was a pianist. She had studied at Boston Conservatory. When I was a kid, I was a clarinet player. My oldest brother is a clarinet player and runs a symphony up in Boston. So right up to high school, I was driving from Enfield, Connecticut into New York City for clarinet lessons twice a week. So there was a part of music that's always in you. You know, when something's ingrained, it's there. You can try to get rid of it, but it's not going to go away.
Oh wow. Where your musical inspiration come from?
You know, I'm one of these guys that I sort of think musical inspirations comes from everywhere. I met many, you know, worked with many opera singers who all they listened to was opera. Or you listen to jazz guys and all they listen to was jazz. But I think musical inspirations is this cross-pollination. You know, I don't know if you saw the Oscars the other night, but Lady Gaga gets up and sings a bunch of stuff from The Sound of Music, and you know what? That chick's got pipes. I mean, she's a good singer. So I always tell my students I would have loved to hear Ella Fitzgerald sing the 24 Italian art songs.
Oh, wow.
Because it's about making music. It's about moving the breath and about singing from here. And when babies are born, the first thing they do is sing. They breathe in and they sing. It may not be very pretty, but they're singing.
Do you have a favorite musical artist?
You know what? If you went through my, I'm an old man, so I still have CDs, and I even have LPs. You know what LPs are?
No.
Yeah, of course not. Vinyl, the big. If you went through, it would be one of the most eclectic groups. I mean, I've got, everything from old opera singers like Tito Schipa and Cesare Valletti to Chet Baker, Miles Davis, Bob Duro. Because there again, my feeling is music is one of these things that touches every single genre. Mozart. If Mozart was alive today, I think he'd be a pretty wild guy.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I definitely believe so. What do you think is your greatest musical accomplishment?
You know what? I think my greatest musical accomplishment is now teaching. Taking a student comes in and teaching them how to move their breath and how to make music, and then watching that student go on. One of my students, two of them actually, we were just down in New York at the Catano Jazz Club, and two of them just sang. And they had been with me for 4 years. They're in college now. And watching these young ladies, all of a sudden, it's like watching a flower blossom. So, I've sung all around the country, but watching students sort of take the baton from you and then move on, that makes me feel great. To me, that's a great accomplishment.
Great accomplishment. If there was one person you would like to collaborate with, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, wow. As I said, Mozart would kind of be a cool guy. I bet you he would have been interesting. But my feeling is that as a musician, the best thing to do is collaborate with anybody and everybody, because everybody's got something to bring to the paella. Walking into a club and seeing people drift in off the street and go up and blow the doors off and then disappear back into the night, that's kind of cool, and when you're going to different opera companies, you don't know who you're going to work with. You find out on the very first day of rehearsal. So again, everybody brings their own ingredients. So it's kind of a tough question, because I kind of like working with everybody. Everyone's got something you're constantly learning from other people. Then when you stop learning, then it's time to go 6 feet under, right?
Would you ever consider singing here at Norwalk Community College?
I would welcome the opportunity. It'd be terrific. I came to in December, you guys did the performing arts thing, and it was really good. We welcome the opportunity to come and sing and sing and play with some of the students here. It'd be kind of cool.
And blow the doors off?
Yeah, sure, everyone can blow the doors off.
And lately, we'd like to know, what music are you into?
What music am I into? Music. What is music to me? It's going to sound corny, but music to me it's the lifeblood of life. It's the one thing that binds everybody together. In fact, you remember, my daughter Isabel had brought a Japanese exchange student home years ago, and this young lady spoke very, very little English, and I spoke zero Japanese. And I pulled out a Schubert songbook, and she played piano, and I sang, and for 45 minutes we were communicating. All through music, sung in German, written by a German guy, brought a Japanese girl and an American guy to communicate for 45 minutes. And I think music, whether it's opera or jazz or rock or whatever, is the one genre where everybody has feelings and emotions and become one.
Today we got to meet somebody who in depth with us about the musical world. I would like to thank you today for our guest today,
Matthew Surapine.
We hope you enjoyed watching us today, and we hope you will continue to watch in the future. Thank you and have a good day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure. A lot of fun.